What can we really do? How do we deal when the world seems absolutely insane, upside down, out of control? I hope you'll come along with me and find our way through that. These things are, after all, always a little easier together than apart. We'll start first with the premise that the part of your experience that you have more sovereignty over is what's in here than it is what's out there. Isn't that so? And if it is, then the only thing that really makes sense is to start with this entire thing as an inside-out proposition. If we're really going to find solutions, then we have to start with where we have the greatest sovereignty. Doesn't mean that we won't get to the part where we work on changing things out there too. Stay tuned. We'll get to that part. But first and foremost, we have to acknowledge that it's going to be an inside-out game, and we'll start in here first. Step number one is basically acknowledge how one really feels. And if it's grief or outrage or sadness or depression or anything else we could describe as difficult, then one of the first best steps we can take is to acknowledge it and to let it out a little, to vent. The value in the venting is not about gathering other people around us to join us in our outrage. It's simply that when we vent, we really have to acknowledge how we really feel, because it's only when we're really in touch with the truth of how we really feel that we can make a meaningful decision and set a meaningful intention that maybe that's not how we actually want to feel, that we might want to act out of a different place, a different part of ourselves. We can set the intention that things like outrage, sadness, depression, despair don't feel wonderful, and that when I act out of those kinds of emotions, I don't always make my best choices. And so by getting in touch with how we really feel, it gives us this opportunity to set an intention, a really meaningful intention, that points us in a different direction regarding how we actually want to feel, the experience we actually want to have, and the place from which we actually want to make the decisions about our life. And it's setting that intention that can make a huge part of the difference. It's very, very different than wanting to gather fellow sufferers, those in additional outrage around us, so that we increase our outrage. Most of any of us can relate very clearly to the fact that when we act out of rage of any kind, we tend not to make our greatest decisions. It also just tends to feel awful. And this is a key component of that inside-out dynamic. If we're filled with sadness, depression, despair, and outrage, we're probably going to meet the world in a way that largely keeps that locked in place. But when we begin to seek a different experience of our own internally, then we have a real chance to act from a completely different place in our minds, in our hearts. And that's what will create meaningful change in your own experience first, and then out in the world as well. But first, maybe we got to vent a little. Just get in touch with the truth of it. And once we're done, we can begin to make a different choice. Doesn't mean that we get to feel better immediately. Sometimes it takes a few swings, it takes some time and effort, but at least we get pointed in that direction. And that is meaningful. Secondly, go outside, get some fresh air, step away from everything that you can step away from, certainly all the screens for starters. And if it's not stepping outside, make absolutely certain to take some small act of self-care, whatever that means to you, something that makes you feel, something that you can lean into, that honors yourself, the journey that you're on, and the fact that being a human is hard, and that it's all right to do something comforting and frankly nice for yourself. It's just a loving act, and you might as well start in here where you really have that sovereignty. If it can't start there, then what could you possibly be bringing to the world? So please join me in doing something nice for yourself. Maybe get a little bit of space between you and what seems like the chaos out there. Treat yourself nice. We can't give away what we don't have. And that's why doing something loving for yourself is a great way to turn it around and end up being in the world in a way that's a little bit more loving and peaceful. So do something nice for yourself. Go ahead. Thirdly, please join me in connecting to the absolute deepest part of your own being. The part of you that isn't even touched by the machinations of this world. The part of you that is beyond those limitations. Because it's that part of you, the part that hasn't been impugned or impacted or terrified by the world around you. It just isn't touched by the world around you at all. And so the machinations of this world don't actually impact that fundamental part of your own being. And more than anything, that's what I would seek to support you in. Because it's when we're able to be in touch with that part of our being, the part that cannot be touched by this world, that isn't impacted by the machinations of this world. When we can really be in touch with that, then we can bring that equanimity, we can bring that peace into this world, knowing that we're actually safe. And it's that sense of safety that I would invite you into. It's when we get to be in touch with that part of our being then that we can act from the peace that pours forth from it. And that's when doing work out in the world begins to really make the biggest impact. If I'm acting out in the world out of my own outrage, sadness, or despair, what a different experience it would be to be acting in the world instead from a place of real peace. It's not hard to see how one of those options is more likely to actually produce more peace out in the world. And it's true, it would. There's nothing wrong with changing things out in the world here. Even though this always starts as an inside game first, always. It just simply becomes a question of from which place am I making those adjustments out there in the outside world? Am I doing it from a place of fear or outrage? Or am I doing it from a place within of my own real peace? And which would I rather share with the world? Which would I rather share with myself? Would I rather have that peaceful experience or the one filled with outrage? The contrast is so large, it begins to become a simple choice, but only when we're really quite mindful of it. And more than anything, that's what I would be delighted to invite you into today. In the service of that peace, I'm going to link to a little 9-minute meditation. May it serve you, help you find that peace and bring it into the world. And if anyone out there wants to work directly with me to find their own peace, that's a possibility too. It's pretty much my purpose here these days. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you're welcome to this table. Here's walking in spirit, my friends. May this message find you. May it help connect you to your own peace inside. And may you be able to live then a little more and a little more from that peace as you go about in the outside world, doing all the things that you have to do and that you'd love to do and that you hope to do. Peace be with you, my friends.